Welcome back to Grammar Grade 12. This is Unit 3, Lesson 22, and it's the one that ties the whole unit together. Over the last few lessons, you met three special verb forms: the participle, the gerund, and the infinitive. We call them verbals, verb forms that step out of their usual job and act as some other part of speech. Today we learn to tell them apart quickly and with confidence. Let's finish Unit 3 strong. Let's lay out the whole picture first. A verbal is a verb form that's doing another job in the sentence. There are exactly three. A participle works as an adjective. It describes a noun. A gerund works as a noun. It names something. And an infinitive is the flexible one. It can work as a noun, an adjective, or even an adverb. Notice the pattern already. These are all built from verbs, but not one of them is acting as the verb. The job each one does is everything, so that's exactly what we'll learn to spot. Start with the participle. A participle is a verb form used as an adjective, which simply means it describes a noun. Present participles end in ing. In the whispering wind. Whispering describes the wind. Which wind? The whispering one. Past participles usually end in ed or en. In a broken promise. Broken describes the promise. Either way, the participle is leaning on a noun and adding detail to it. So the test for a participle is this. It always describes a noun, and you should be able to point to the exact noun it modifies. Now the gerund. A gerund is an ing verb form used as a noun. So instead of describing something, it names something. Look at whispering annoyed the librarian. The word whispering isn't describing anyone. It is the thing that did the annoying. It's the subject, a noun. Or take we enjoy hiking. Hiking is what we enjoy. It's the object. Again, a noun. Here's the key. A gerund always ends in ing, and it fills a slot where a noun would go, a subject or an object. If you can drop the ing word into a noun seat, it's a gerund. The third verbal is the infinitive, and it's the flexible one. An infinitive is the word to plus the base form of a verb. To whisper, to travel, to decide. What makes it special is that it can do three different jobs. As a noun, to whisper felt wrong. The whole phrase names the thing that felt wrong, so it's working as a noun. As an adjective, a reason to whisper. Here, to whisper describes the noun reason, telling which reason. And as an adverb, she leaned in to whisper. To whisper tells why she leaned in, so it's modifying the verb. One easy signpost. If you see to in front of a base verb, you're almost certainly looking at an infinitive. Here's the challenge this whole lesson is built around. A participle and a gerund can look absolutely identical. Both end in ing. Watch. In the running river, running describes the river. It tells which river, so it's an adjective, a participle. But in running clears my head, running isn't describing anything. It's the thing that clears my head. It's the subject, a noun, so it's a gerund. Same word, spelled exactly the same. What separates them is not the form, but the job. So don't stare at the ing ending. Ask what the word is doing in the sentence. Let's turn all of that into a method you can run every time. Step 1. Find the verbal, the verb form that isn't acting as the main verb. Step 2. Ask what job it's doing in the sentence. If it's describing a noun, it's a participle. If it's naming something, sitting in a subject or object slot, it's a gerund. And if it begins with to plus a base verb, it's an infinitive. no matter which of the 3 jobs it happens to be doing. 2 questions. Find it, then name its job, and any verbal will give itself away. Time to practice. In this first set, I'll show you a sentence with 1 verbal marked, and you decide, is it a participle, a gerund, or an infinitive? Pause the video and choose before I reveal each answer. Sprinting toward the gate, Maya caught the last train. Ask the job, what is sprinting doing? It's describing Maya. It tells us how she was moving as she caught the train. Since it's describing a noun, sprinting is a participle. Collecting vinyl records became her weekend passion. What job is collecting doing here? It isn't describing anything. It's the thing that became her passion, sitting right in the subject's seat. Because it names something and fills a noun slot, collecting is a gerund. The committee met to revise the budget. Look at to revise. It's the word to in front of the base verb revise. That signpost alone tells you the answer. To revise is an infinitive. Here it even tells why the committee met, doing the work of an adverb. This second set zeroes in on the tricky part. Every sentence has an ing word, and it's either a participle or a gerund. Don't look at the ending, look at the job. Is the word describing a noun or naming something? Pause and decide before I answer. The howling wind rattled the shutters. What is howling doing? It's describing the wind. Which wind? The howling one. Because it's describing a noun, howling is a participle here. Howling at midnight kept the neighbors awake. Same word, but now what is it doing? It isn't describing anyone. It's the thing that kept the neighbors awake, sitting in the subject's seat. Because it names an activity, howling is a gerund this time. The runners stretching by the track looked calm. Find the ing word, stretching, and ask its job. It's telling us which runners, the ones stretching by the track. Since it's describing a noun, stretching is a participle. Let's pull it all together. First, the participle, a verb form used as an adjective. It describes a noun, like the whispering wind or a broken promise. Second, the gerund, an ing verb form used as a noun. It names something and slides into a subject or object slot, like whispering in whispering is rude. And third, the infinitive, to plus a base verb, flexible enough to act as a noun, an adjective, or an adverb. And remember the one move that unlocks all 3? When a participle and a gerund look identical, the job decides. Describing means participle. Naming means gerund. That completes Unit 3, our whole tour of phrases. Next unit, we move up to clauses and sentence structure, where these pieces start building full, complex sentences. Nicely done. I'll see you in Unit 4.